If you strip away the casing of your smartphone, you will find a highly complex processor. But beneath that processor, enabling it to function at all, lies a simpler, much older piece of hardware: millions of tiny, rectangular surface mount components. These components are called capacitors. They are universally required across the entire spectrum of mobile communications, from the earliest cellular brick to modern touchscreens. Their necessity is not a modern development. Capacitors were foundational to early digital computing, stabilizing the crude power supplies of vintage gaming consoles. Their role is so critical, they are responsible for the reliable function of life-saving medical devices. While a chemical battery relies on slow reactions to provide a steady drip of power, a capacitor operates entirely differently. Its primary function is to store electrical energy for near instantaneous release. It achieves this without chemical reactions and without a single moving part. A capacitor stores energy entirely through physical space. The physics governing this simple gap between two plates determines how modern electrical networks stabilize power and how our devices process data. The basic architecture of a capacitor requires only two conductive metallic plates positioned extremely close to one another. Separating these plates is a layer called the dielectric. This is an insulating material placed directly in the gap, explicitly preventing the two metallic plates from ever physically touching. When this architecture is connected to a DC battery, the voltage source forces free electrons to travel down the wire and accumulate heavily on one of the conductive plates, giving it a net negative charge. Simultaneously, the negative charge on the bottom repels electrons away from the opposite plate. They are stripped away, leaving the top plate with a net positive charge. Because the dielectric prevents the electrons from jumping across the gap, physical tension builds between the plates. This tension creates an invisible electric field, and that electric field is where the energy is actually stored. We define this storage capacity mathematically. Capacitance, measured in farads, dictates exactly how much electrical charge a capacitor can hold at a given voltage. The equation is simply C equals Q over V. At the engineering scale, a single 1 farad capacitor is massive. Real-world printed circuit boards typically utilize fractions of that unit, measuring capacitance in microfarads or nanofarads. Regardless of physical size, this ratio of stored charge to voltage defines the maximum capacity of every capacitive component used in modern electrical engineering. To understand how this electrical storage behaves in practice, we can use a fluid analogy. Imagine a water system. A continuously running water pump acts as our voltage, providing the pressure. The physical water filling up the tank represents our stored electrical charge. Just as the physical tank stores water to be used later, the capacitor holds the electrical charge securely in place until the connected circuit demands it. This line graph maps the total stored energy inside the component. Looking at the curve, we plot the energy on the y-axis against the applied voltage on the x-axis. The relationship follows a strict equation, E equals 1/2 C times V squared. Notice the curve. Because the voltage term is squared, the math scales quadratically. Even a small increase in voltage results in a massive gain in total stored energy. This brings us to the discharge mechanism. Batteries slowly bleed out their power. Releasing a capacitor's energy is like opening a massive drop valve on that pressurized water tank. It dumps the entire volume almost instantly. We see this rapid energy release every time we use a camera flash. The battery charges the capacitor over several seconds, and the capacitor then violently dumps all of that stored energy in a fraction of a second to ignite the bulb. This ability to deliver mathematically massive amounts of power in milliseconds makes the component irreplaceable for any burst power application. Because of the physical gap created by the dielectric, a capacitor exhibits a paradoxical behavior, depending entirely on the type of electrical current flowing into it. Let's begin with direct current, where a continuous, steady voltage is applied to the circuit. Current flows down the wire, but only briefly. The flow continues just long enough for the capacitor's internal electric field to perfectly match the battery's voltage. Once the plates are fully saturated, the electrons have nowhere to go. The flow stops completely. To a steady DC circuit, a fully charged capacitor acts as a physical wall. Now look at alternating current. Here, the voltage source is constantly fluctuating, slipping its positive and negative poles back and forth. In the initial AC rush, electrons flood towards one plate. But before the capacitor can fully charge and block the flow, the voltage source reverses direction. The electrons are pulled back out of the top plate and forced down onto the opposite plate. Because the system is trapped in an endless cycle of charging and discharging, the current never actually stops moving. The AC signal passes right through. Engineers define this exact phenomenon as filtering. The component possesses the ability to block steady, flat DC power while allowing rapidly fluctuating AC signals to cross the gap. This filtering property allows modern high-frequency telecommunications to function, as it separates clear data signals from electrical noise in satellite relays and cell towers. It is the same physical principle audio engineers have used for decades to separate high and low frequencies in radios and loudspeaker networks. Without the paradoxical ability to act as an open door to alternating current and a brick wall to direct current, processing wireless data and building clean audio circuits would be physically impossible. Moving from theoretical physics into modern hardware, we see this filtering behavior applied at the highest levels of computational architecture. When heavy workloads hit a computer processor, it demands sudden spikes in power. This uneven draw creates chaotic fluctuations in the electrical supply line. We call this electrical turbulence ripple voltage. If left unaddressed, even a microsecond of ripple voltage will instantly crash a CPU. This chart demonstrates how capacitor networks solve the problem. As the power supply flows through the component, the capacitors absorb the sudden spikes and immediately discharge to fill in the sudden drops, converting the chaotic ripple voltage into stable DC power. This stabilizing function scales up to massive proportions. Heavy film and electrolytic capacitors perform the same smoothing function in the high-voltage drivetrains of electric vehicles and industrial motor controllers. It is crucial to understand that a component's capacitance rating is purely a measure of its storage capability. The actual energy stored inside the device depends on the live voltage actively applied to it by the circuit. Every capacitor is bound by strict physical limitations. The maximum voltage rating is determined by the thickness of the dielectric layer. Forcing a voltage past that rating will punch a hole through the insulation, destroying the component. Material science continues to push these limits. Current research focuses on ultra-high-density supercapacitors, which bridge the gap between brief bursts of power and long-term battery capacity for renewable energy storage systems. By isolating a microscopic gap and controlling the electric field within it, the capacitor filters our data, stabilizes our power systems, and ensures digital hardware actually functions. Next, we will examine the component that balances the capacitor's electric field with a magnetic one, the inductor.